What's up, guys? It is Mitchell J, the Scaredy Cat Guide, and it is Bitcoin breakout time. We didn't have to wait long. If you watched my last video, I talked about how we were making a run at that 6,800 level, that 6,800 resistance area, and how it was essentially the third time. And that a lot of times, third time really is a charm. So in this case, it was. So to recap, you look at the chart here, you'll see, like I said, we formed a higher low, which was the first step in positive price action that we've had in a couple months. Downtrend, we broke out, so we went from basically bearish slash negative to neutral. Then we created this higher low and started pushing up, and I'm like, sweet, that is the first step in positive price action. Are we going to crack 6,800 and see some real follow through? And we did it on some volume too. You see right here, it's not obviously the highest volume we've seen, but it is above average. It is on the higher end in terms of the average daily volume. So that's a positive. And the candle closed about 2 hours ago, so we closed up around 7,300, well above the 68. So that was pretty huge. And like I said, upside target again 77. We got as high as I think 74, 75. So we'll see if we get a push up to that level or if we get any kind of pullback or consolidation. So the good news is we have basically made our first positive move in a couple months now, where we created a higher low and now a higher high. So higher low, see, that was the prior low, higher low, then that was the prior high, boom, beat that, so now we have a higher high even if we were to pull back here. So now the question is, are we going to pull back and test this 6,800 now as a support level? That very well can happen. That happens often. We may still rip and try and get 77, 7,800 first and then pull back, or who knows? They may decide that, you know what, we have enough buyers that finally got built up, in this basing, and we just push higher. But the key items to pay attention to is, all right, upside 77, 78. That's the nearest upside. Downside, well, we want to hold 6,800 now. We want that to act as a support. So if we were to pull back here, again, I'm not sweating it as long as we hold 6,800. And it very well could happen, especially because, we've pulled away from this 10-day moving average a decent amount. And as you can see, if you look at this blue line, which represents the 10-day moving average, you can see anytime we pull far away from it, we tend to revert back a little bit or wait for it. I mean, you can see here, big dip, little bounce to get back to it, so if we can do that on the upside, this would be great. So you might notice that I have a blue box drawn. The reason I drew this is because I kind of noticed the price action from the move in April, the month of April, what happened, and how right now, so far, is kind of looking the same. And if we can play out that way, that'd be great, because that was almost like this right here was almost a 3,000 point move. So if that was the case, that would take us up into the mid eights or so. Like we'd be going after maybe this top. We get into the mid eights, high eights. So it's very similar, as you see, in terms of kind of putting that final bottom, had a little small move and a higher low. This one is a bit more muted. This is a lot more clear. And then we got, boom, the big thrust up like we just got now. And then some, even though it pushed up, some consolidation as the 10-day moved up and caught up. And then, boom, we pushed higher again. So that could play out. If we got this same move that we got in April, if we get that for, the last half of July, I would be more than happy to see that. And like I said, that would take us up at least into the mid eights. So we'll see what happens, but just wanted to essentially review Bitcoin now that we finally broke through 6,800 and what our nearest price points are on the upside and downside, because they have changed now, especially for the downside. So yeah, let's see if we can get to this 77, 78 level, and if so, then we can make a run into the mid eights, and obviously that would be awesome. So that's pretty much the deal. I'll bring up Ethereum real quick just to show you, like, everything's kind of trading the same. So you see Ethereum did something very similar, same thing, although it was not as volatile. Same thing though, put in a low, higher low, not by much, but did it and then broke the prior high. So again, Bitcoin's still the leader. There's still a lot of correlation to it, regardless of the maturing of this crypto market. So we need to keep an eye on it, and this is exactly why. So not all coins broke the previous highs. There's some small ones that didn't, but like Litecoin's actually right there is trying to break its prior high. So in fact, let me look at it again. I haven't looked at it for a few hours. So yeah, like it's right there. I mean, that's that intraday high. It's right there, but it hasn't cleared this prior top like Bitcoin and Ethereum did. So we'll see if it can get on board as well. And if it does, then your target is 100. You know what I mean? So at least we got some positive price action. This is the best bullish price action we've seen in many months. So I'm all for it, and I will put some links in the show notes as always, which essentially is a bunch of free crypto training material that I have out there that essentially is teaching exactly what I do when I look at charts. So feel free to check it out, and I will see you on the next video. Oh, and honestly, I always forget to mention it. Subscribe. Hit the subscribe button on this YouTube channel so you get the updates every time I come out with a new video. I usually do 4 or 5 of them a week, but at the same time, I don't force it when there's nothing to talk about. So really, I'm just giving you the need to know price action. Anyway, I'll see you on the next video.